Richard Arbizo, always in the 310, Carson, California. Then, he also added he wasn't feeling you're taking Michael Thomas over JuJu Smith-Schuster take either.
I just don't want JuJu.
Yeah, he wasn't liking that. I just want to let you know he put that in his shout out.
I don't want JuJu. So if you're giving me the choice between Michael Thomas and JuJu, I'm taking Michael Thomas.
For sure.
And I actually wouldn't mind us signing Michael Thomas on the cheap either. But it's more about I just don't really want JuJu. You could name any receiver.
It's more of a JuJu thing.
And I'll probably take him over JuJu, most likely.
That's clarification right there. So everybody that was shooting them comments and, man, what you mean, Deke? How you going to take Michael over JuJu? It's not that he just loves Michael so much. It's that, man, JuJu just burnt that man so bad. That's what that sound like. That sound like when you realize, I got some trauma and I just can't go back. I have zero interest to go back. I love that, bro. I love that. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, the TikTok, it really got you. I didn't know it was to that extent. It got you, bro.
And I don't think it's gone. You think it's done, but I really don't think it's gone at all.
All right, so if we being real, I don't think that it's all the way done. I'm just trying to lie to myself a little bit because I do feel like his play would fit what we want. But I have to make it justifiable in my mind. So that's why I'm just if I haven't seen it, maybe he did turn the page. I haven't looked for it, so maybe
I'll tell you the reason he turned the page is because he sucked last year and the Patriots sucked.
It's just I don't see anything. So everything is good. You were right on, spot on when you called him out. He said, yo, he's a front runner. If it's going good, yeah, he's going to love it even more. When it's not so hot, we see. I'm with you. But right now, it's yo, I'm trying to buy low, sell it when it's high again. Right now, the stock is low. It's quiet. Yo, come on. Get you right now, at least give me this year. Then after that, hey, catch and release.
It would be a cheap signing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably any signing we make at this point would be cheap.
Yeah,
given that Michael Thomas is the top guy available, I don't expect us paying him anything astronomical. And then after that, it's Cole Hardman and Sterling Shepard, those type of dudes. And then if JuJu's available, I don't see him getting anything more than 3 or 4 on a 1 year.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like any free agent that we're going to sign from a receiver perspective is going to be very affordable to us. But I think for us to get the receivers that we're going to actually want, we got to go trade. Because obviously we're past the draft right now. And that's the whole other financial end of the spectrum. Because it's
Have you seen some of these recent reports?
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I'm we can get some of these, free agent type dudes way cheaper. But the trade stuff is not just the pick. Bro, Aiyuk said he went 30, I think, the last report I saw.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's not happening. But the 49ers just signed Jennings to a little multi-year deal. And obviously they picked Purcell in the first round.
All right.
Debo, they have locked up long-term. Something's going to have to give here.
Or maybe they're calling Brandon Aiyuk's bluff. Maybe they would have said, yo, you really going to sit out? Because if you are, we got resources now.
They do. I'm sure they would do just fine without Aiyuk, honestly.
Because I wonder, does he do the L. Bell approach? Remember, L. Bell was playing chicken with the organization. I'll sit out for 14. No, you won't. I'll sit out. Yeah, you will. No, you won't. No, you won't. And then he did it. And was whoa, all right. But that was what he had to do to ultimately get out of the little bit of that contract situation. Then he signed with the Jets. So I wonder, okay, could the Niners have looked and said, all right, well, we've seen a situation where a player has already sat out for a whole year. Not the Seattle Seahawks where it's a game here, a game there. Cam Chancellor, Marshawn Lynch. It's yo, we've seen an L. Bell post those two dudes actually sit a whole year. Maybe they're just saying, bro, we don't want to jeopardize our Super Bowl window over him. So go ahead, bring in another guy. And if he plays, then great. If we can get a deal done, great. But if not, it's yo, they got pieces now. I just don't know if, to me, if you're the Niners, would you rather have Jennings? Would you rather have Aiyuk?
Aiyuk, obviously.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's just now what are the numbers on the deal though?
Not much. Nah. It's nothing crazy. I could check real quick, but
you
view him as your third receiver,
right? But I'm just yo, I think of it as
Purcell is probably more of the Aiyuk replacement.
Yeah.
And then you got Debo. I don't think the Niners will be stressing over it that much. Almost like the Steelers obviously weren't stressing about not having Bo for a season because, we still got Big Ben. All right, we'll just put in James Conner. We got an O-line. We got AB. Niners are probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, Purdy, he's been a consistent like top 10 quarterback here.
Mm-hmm.
We got him. We got Debo. We got McCaffrey. We got a good O-line.
And we
George
got the
Kittle.
same coaching staff coming back.
We drafted Purcell. Yeah.
We got Shanahan, so I have what I need. So that's the part where I'm just looking at it like, I still feel like for the Niners, they're just loaded up to see what move Aiyuk wants to make. Because if Aiyuk plays hardball, and think about it, prior to the draft, we didn't see a lot of Aiyuk doing any of this stuff. And that's what we said. If he isn't a little bit more vocal and adamant and starts taking hard stances, what's the incentive for the Niners to even consider trading him? And that's when we start to see he's going to unfollow them, play the social media games. And then it was the agent was saying certain things, and now we're kind of getting to this point where we're starting to actually see the Niners taking actions. Like you said, drafting Purcell, signing Jennings. So they've already kind of showed where their mindset is. We're not just putting all our eggs in the Brandon Aiyuk is going to be happy and show up and play this last year, or we're going to get the extension done and everything's going to be great and he's going to finish his career here. They don't want to play that game is what it seems like, because they got too much everything else already. I mean, very similar to what we said about us. We feel like we have a lot of pieces already in place, and it's like, we're literally one or two little fine tuning away from feeling like we got a legit, it doesn't matter who you put out there, we're ready. The Niners are definitely in the same boat, except they've, the past 2 years now, or past 3 years.
It's been like 4 or 5. They've been on
that's what they say. I've been right on the cusp. Yeah. 2 appearances in the past 5?
In the Super Bowl. Yeah, but I don't know how many NFC champions. They might have been to 3, 4 NFC championships.
Yeah, I think 4 NFC championships. At least the appearances, and 2 Super Bowl appearances in that span. Yeah. Which is low-key crazy.
The other one is Courtland Sutton is looking for $15 or $16 million a year.
So,
which actually isn't bad.
After seeing Jalen Waddle get, was it $27 a year? I was like, you know what? Anything this not in them high 20s like that, Brian. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Because when Aiyuk said he wanted 30,
wide receiver 1 for a minute,
yeah.
But I mean, we don't need him to be wide receiver 1 here. He'd be perfect wide receiver 2, a good compliment to Pickens. And if you're telling me I'm getting him for 15 or 16, Deontay was getting 18.
18, yeah.
That's pretty reasonable. I think that's actually really fair.
And if I feel like GP can be the better of the two, because I still feel like GP can, I just need to see it. In terms of just the consistent, take that step, be the bona fide dude that we think you're capable of being. It's like, yeah, you're really getting a great deal in that vein. But I love it for 15. I'm not tripping on it, bro.
Yeah, me neither. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. Like I said, seeing some of these new wide receiver dudes that are going out, the money that's getting showed out, just like, yeah, bro. Because we talking real life, like, yo, almost 30 for the wide receivers. Like, man.
And Jalen Waddle's good, but
he's not the best receiver on their team.
He's not.
So your number 2 receiver gets 27?
And I got to see him drop a lot of balls in the playoffs a couple years ago against the Bills.
It's like, whoo.
Tyreek drops some balls too.
It's just Tyreek does Tyreek things.
Yeah, he makes up for it. It's almost like when Martavis was humming here.
Yeah.
Martavis would drop some bad ones, but
people
then
don't want to remember
that,
but he definitely has some head scratching. Yeah, he'd be like, bro, how you do that? And then he catch the one between his legs, front flipping off his butt into the back of the end zone. And you're like, oh, all right, shout out to Tay.
Yeah, but that catch didn't even need to be that hard to begin
with. You would also agree with that as well.
Placed perfectly.
I would agree. Yeah. Listen, seven was dropping footballs in his hand at times. We just like, bro, just why you got to make them look difficult? It's like, man, it don't look like it needed to be that hard. But yeah, 27 for, like I said, the not even number 1 receiver, your number 2 receiver. If you're talking about potentially getting a Courtland Sutton for 15,
yeah, I think that makes
I like
a lot
that
of sense.
way better, absolutely. And knowing that we have a GP here, understanding just the overall philosophy of Arthur Smith as well.
Niners got to be loving that Waddle took that 27.
No, he said that.
Because him and Aiyuk, I think, are in similar boats.
So do you feel like his
in terms of market value? I think Waddle actually has a better case to make more money than Aiyuk.
So this is my thing.
I think because Waddle has more robust numbers.
Well, yeah. Last year, Waddle finished top 5 receiving yards in the NFL.
I think he's been 1,000 every year in the league.
Yeah, pull him up. Pull up.
Whereas Ayuk's kind of just been like that slow
He's
build.
getting better, yeah.
Up to his career year last year.
Because I was going to say, I feel like when I just think just knee-jerk both of those players.
Yeah, 1,000 every year for Waddle.
Yeah, knee-jerk both of those players. I think Waddle, speed, run out the catch, more of a slant and go ball type of dude. Whereas when I think of Aiyuk, I think of a little bit more size, but has developed into a dope route runner.
Right.
Like in terms of his ability to detail the deep digs, the deep ins, outs. Whereas I think for Waddle, because of just how fast he is, he's gotten away with not really having to have a lot of detail with it. But when you put him across from a Tyreek Hill, it's like, bro, I told you the game, man. You're watching him catch a slant pass and take it 60 because he splits both safeties and the LBs, who all are in position. That's what he has. That's game-breaking stupid speed. It's just like you go hit you. I mean, we've seen it the opener last year. He made us realize some people was like, oh, all right, maybe he is getting a little older. Like that. That's what he was on. Yeah.
Well, we're 2 days away from June 1st. Maybe we'll get some answers.
All right, so if you had to pick now, we're 2 days away.
It's DK still.
Okay. I didn't know if you changed your mind. Because if Waddle got 27, and you said Aiyuk and Waddle probably in the same cash vein, 27, where do you put DK?
Well, that's the thing. He's
currently under contract
for, I think, these next 2 years.
And you know how that works,
and it's at $25 million.
You know how that works, though.
Yeah, maybe next year would be the contract extension talk. Mm-hmm. But if you're the Steelers, I don't think you're stressing about it because you have so many questions that need answered anyway throughout this season.
Respect.
So I think that could be a good thing where you see how DK plays out and that dynamic with him and Pickens, what does Russ look like, feel, all that stuff. And then you say, all right, who do we want to pay long term?
Because you know how the receivers get. That's my only thing. The receivers want that bag and they want to be the highest paid. And he's definitely in that conversation to where he would be one of those highest paid dudes. And just depending on his temperament, which I have zero clue. We
haven't heard anything about him on the contract just yet.
But we just know that when dudes start getting paid in the offseason, some of these dudes pop out the blue and they're like, nah, bro, I want my upgrade too. So that's my only thing that I hope it does. I mean,
I think next year would be the time for that.
For us, I hope if they were to make a move and we make that trade, I would hope it works out like that.
Yeah, he would be my number one.
Okay.
Number two, I guess it's got to be Aiyuk in a vacuum.
But would you want him for 30?
Yeah, that's the question. What are we giving up to get him, and how much we paying him? Whereas Courtland Sutton, I think, feels like just the most sensible, like Steeler-esque type of move.
But this is my question to you:
trade a fifth rounder, get Sutton, and pay him $15, $16 a year.
Okay, I was going to ask, what do you think you had to give up to go get him?
Not much.
Okay.
JuJu got traded to the Browns for like a 6th rounder.
Yeah.
Was it a late round? It might have been a late round pick swap.
Yeah.
Can't even remember if it was just a pick or.
And then JuJu got 17, right? Was his number 17?
It's too much, 17, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much for what he provides out there. But yeah, I'm happy the Browns made that move. Yeah, I think Courtland Sutton's good. I'm good with any of those. Like if we overpay a little bit for Aiyuk and we give up a 2nd rounder and got to give him 26, 27, it ain't the end of the world either. Yeah. Like I'm not going to be like so far against it. Now, if we're talking 32, 33 million for him, yeah, I'm going to have some questions. But yeah, I'm good with any of those three. Yeah. Like each one has their pros and cons to it. But I think DK has the most pros and the least amount of cons.
No, respect on that. So I look at it like any of those three, regardless of, well, not regardless, but kind of under the same vein for you. You said you don't mind potentially having to overpay for any of them slightly. I would agree solely because I feel like we have a lot that's already in place for us to win this year. And I do feel like the two areas that give me the most, uneasy feeling or whatever, wide receiver 2, slot corner. Right now, as it stands, I don't feel comfortable all the way about those positions. Now, can the guys that we currently have surprise me? Absolutely. Could they exceed the expectations? Absolutely. Could we sit here and we're going to, positively talk about all the other guys not named GP in the wide receiver room with the optimism of they can, they will, we hope they take this, and positive speech and stuff like that. But it's still a lot of speculation. It's still a lot of hope that this can happen without it being anything tangible that we can go back and say, oh, I've seen this dude do this multiple times. I've seen that guy already step up. I've already seen this guy do this yet. I've already seen GP be a number one receiver. Like, we're going to have to say that with a lot of what we're going to talk about with our current group. And with those guys that we're talking about right there, DK, Aiyuk, Sutton, it's just different because you've already seen them do it. You've already seen them in these roles. And we're not asking and hoping that not just one player can take that leap. Not just 2, 3, 4. It's like, yo, let's minimize. Let's keep it where it's less variables that can go wrong. And that's why I'm just like, I would much rather go get one of them type of dudes, even if it did cost a little bit more, because I feel like now it almost puts it where it's fail proof. Whereas right now I can see where, hey, if GP a little slow getting out the gate, if whoever's opposite of GP hasn't figured it out, right? Is it Calvin? Is it Quez? Is it Van?
Now two of those dudes already have connections with Russ.
True.
Which I like.
I do too. And we've not just seen the connection, we've seen them be productive. Like
DK, what I mean is like if things are a little bit off and the chemistry's not all the way there with the offense just yet, it gives Russ a little safety valve. He has a safety net.
Yeah. Because I just feel like it would be such a bad vibe for us this first month of, man, they're trying to get on the same page, Russ and GP. Our number 2 is still just trying to figure out, is he capable of being a number 2? Can he win? Can he create separation? Can he consistently catch? Those are some of the questions that we have with the different names that we put over there. And then it's like, oh, we're also making sure that Arthur Smith can make sure that he still got the juice that we saw back in Tennessee versus what we were seeing a little bit in Atlanta. So that's why, like I said, for me, I'm just like, man, I would much rather add one of them to that equation, man.
We can afford it. Omar could definitely make it work. We could
definitely afford it, bro. Could definitely afford it.
This is a really good year to go all in, given our quarterback contract situation, too.
I swear, bro. Come on, man. Like, if you're going to make these type of moves, this is the year to do it.
Yep.
Because this is pseudo rookie quarterback right now. It's the last year of him on the rookie deal, so to speak, man.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and get one of them dudes, man.